Welcome to Section 420, Talking Yankees. Well, what we thought could have happened to baseball and what baseball did not want to happen did happen. Well, it's happened to a bunch of teams, but the Yankees have had some now players contract COVID-19. Started off with DJ LeMahieu as well as Luis Cessa. They originally didn't even report to summer camp. And in terms of LeMahieu, I guess he's asymptomatic because according to him, he really didn't have any symptoms, but I guess, he came up positive on a test. As for Cessa, he experienced mild symptoms, so they were sort of delayed to start, their spring training 2.0. And as for the Yankees with Chapman, now he also originally didn't report to camp right away, and they said, no, it was a travel situation, nothing to do with that. He was in camp for a couple of days, then of course he flunked a COVID test, so they had to pull him away from the team. So this is not really what baseball wanted, and it's not just the Yankees. A number of teams have had players test positive, and basically what they do is isolate them, pull from the team, and for about for 14 days, and get them to rejoin. So not devastating, but it's kind of weird. Just you try to get players warmed up and ready for the season and stuff like that, and then they're basically on the shelf for 14 days. And again, with such a short season, every game counts. So Masahiro Tanaka almost got his head smashed in. Actually did get smashed in by Giancarlo Stanton. So he was throwing batting practice, and it was kind of crazy because at the beginning of the day, the Yankees were bragging about it. They were posting pictures of Giancarlo with his arms like this and hey, he's ready to hit it in the cage today. And then a couple of hours later, he almost kills Tanaka. Of course, not on purpose. Tanaka was throwing batting practice. And really, not that it was anyone's fault, but he was basically just throwing junk ball from flat sliders like that. Well, you throw that to a beast like Stanton, who just is 6'7", just smashes balls. So he hit a ball hard, line drive right off Tanaka's head, and obviously it looked bad. He went down right away. Now he wasn't out cold, not moving. He was kind of squirming a little bit, but obviously shot to the head. I mean, that could kill you, literally. But by some crazy, luck or the good fortune for the Yankees and Tanaka, he ended up to walk off the field. They took him to the hospital. Had an MRI. Actually, didn't show any signs of a concussion. Shockingly, and within a couple of days, he was back at Yankees camp, and just a big sigh of relief. Not only just obviously worry about the human being more than the player, but obviously, I mean, losing Severino is one thing. Now you can have Tanaka go down would have been just devastating. But no, Tanaka, should be able to make his normal start to the season as projected. Again, the way they're lining this up, they're trying to go, I guess, break up the righties a little bit. Even though you don't want to get too early to this, but go, righty Cole, lefty Paxton, and then a righty Tanaka. Now, one of the big question marks for the Yankees was going to be Aaron Judge. I mean, can he play? Is he healthy? The rib issue, and then he had a stiff neck early on. They had to, just basically shut him down for a while. But he got his back going, in summer camp, did hit a nice home run off of James Paxton, which is just good to see him back in the swing of things. So looks like he's at least, ready to start the season, hitting the ground. There was just some question whether he'll be ready and, there's some doubts. But, he should be good to go early on. And to have both him and Stan in the lineup, something we really didn't see much at all last year. If we could get that to start the season, all the more better. And this, the year was going to be interesting for Miguel Andujar. Obviously, last year they had to shut him down. He had the surgery, and he comes back and it's all right, will he be the same type of player that was third in the Rookie of the Year voting a couple of years ago? But he looked strong early on, hit a couple of home runs in summer camp. Again, he's working out a little bit at first base as well, so we'll see if he gets in the mix. Again, he kind of seems like he's a bit of an odd man out because I'm not sure there's really a place for him. And defensively at third base, again, you'd rather have Urshela there, but at least, just after that shoulder surgery with Andujar, it's just good to see him in the batter's box and smoking balls into the seats. Unfortunately, the seats are empty. And the Yankees have a real love affair for Adam Warren. I mean, he came up originally with the Yankees. I was actually in the stands for his first career start against the Chicago White Sox. He actually got bombed that game, but his strong suit, obviously, for the Yankees has always been a relief pitcher. They shipped him to Seattle for a while, and then he came back to the Yankees, and he was with the Yankees this season. But then he had to get shut down with Tommy John surgery, so they actually ended up cutting him from the roster. But again, the Yankees stayed true to Adam Warren for whatever reason. Cashman just loves him. He did promise that, yes, once we get to after the season in the winter, Cashman does plan on re-signing Adam Warren. So for all you Adam Warren fans out there, he'll be back. And in terms of the early returns of this new rule about putting a player on second base in the 10th inning, with no outs with the pitcher, it seems like most pitchers don't like this. In fact, Adam Ottavino has been saying, hey, look, this is not even baseball. But we haven't seen it play out yet, so these are the new rules. But this, from hearing from some of the players, they don't like it. And more importantly for the Yankees, now if you spend $300 million, you want to make sure that guy like Garrett Cole's pretty good. Very good summer camp so far. pretty much got through aces, no injuries, nothing like that. So, again, still have a season to go, but at the very least, the investment so far is paying off. He's pretty much very sharp right out of the gate. So looks like this layover from, starting up in February and March and then have to get shut down and start up again hasn't affected them all. And again, for $300 million, that's great news for the Yankees. Now, not every player wanted to play this season, of course, for safety reasons and others. And none of them, nobody for the Yankees dropped out, but one Yankee in particular, Clint Frazier, has been pretty adamant wearing a mask both, at bat and in the field. He's the only one really doing it, and he's been getting some criticism for it, which I don't see why. I mean, you had some teammates like LeMahieu and Chapman around, and Chapman had to get yanked out. So can't criticize the guy for wanting to wear a mask. I mean, he is playing, but to criticize, I know Clint Frazier's had some issues in the past in terms of people being critical of him, but to do it because he's wearing a mask is just absurd. I'm totally in this situation. Only completely on Frazier's side. Now, in terms of the next episode, will I be at the stadium? Will I be doing an interview? Let the coin decide. Heads, I'll be back at the stadium.